Okay, I think I've got time for maybe one more session with this Javelin. And what I'd like to do is figure out how to take apart the segment on the front of the ship. These ships are like big segmented, I don't know, caterpillar-like creatures. And there's sort of a different... I think, I've already figured out a lot about how to take apart the back of the ship. And it actually came apart surprisingly well. The airlock came out really nicely. It was really easy to sort of disassemble the thruster and the reactor. And what is this guy? Oh, that guy. Oh, I tried to send that to the processor earlier. It failed. Well, let's get it closer. With 2 tethers, because it's large. But we've got an interesting geometric problem here, which is I've got this little pod in the front of the ship, surrounded by this cage, but the cage is held on by this monstrosity. And so I think I need to get rid of that monstrosity, but it doesn't have an easy cut point here. And it's connected to a pressurized area of the ship.
Gunner, your gear's getting low. It's gonna start fighting you if you don't head on back to the hab.
Oh, right. I need to repair my gear. Well, you know what? Let's do that real fast before we get started. But because this ship is actually 2 connected pods, but they're not connected in a, like, the pressurized part of the ship doesn't connect them as far as I can tell.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Okay, I've bought a couple of repair kits now. How do I use the repair kits? Because I think it was my cutter that he said was in bad shape, though I'm not sure. Where is its condition listed? I'm actually not sure where it says the condition of my tool. Okay, I'm still a little bit confused about how to repair my tools. So I'm gonna wait until it makes me do it. And maybe we're gonna learn what it's like to use a cutter that's not working that well. Okay, the question is, how do I get into this pod? Oh, okay, so we've got an airlock here. We've got an interesting thing over here. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look into that later. But we've got an airlock. So open this guy up.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
We'll get inside.
Airlock pressure levels
And
increasing.
hopefully this will have a rational way to depressurize it. Because what I'm trying to get to is... Actually, wait. I've lost my orientation. Hold on a second. Let's go back upstairs. Because this is 0G, it's really easy to forget which way is up. And I don't have an enemy's gate to orient on, so... Okay, so not that side. Right here. This is what I'm trying to get rid of. Okay, so let's try to remember that. It's on the right as I'm aiming in this way. It's forward on the ship, which is the same direction as, say, this ladder.
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
And also this ladder. Okay, so it's through this wall, which means it's over here. Which means it's this. This is what I need to remove. But this area is pressurized. If I cut these cut points and this thing detaches, it's going to suck all the air out with it. And it's going to move and destroy a bunch of objects that are inside here. So wait, where was the hatch I just took to get out of there? What part of the... Oh, it's right there. Okay.
Don't forget your equipment durability doesn't take care of itself. If your gear's acting up on you, best practice is to patch it up in the hab. Your tools should be working for you, not the other way around.
Okay, so let's patch it up in the hab. So is there not even a way for me to repair my tools in the field? Let me look at key mapping. Like, say I've got my cutter out, and I want to... Yeah, I don't think I can repair it. Yeah, now there is a tool menu. Swap tool mode. Okay, select tool menu is R, apparently. Is there a way... Okay, these are... Oh, they're at 75, 77%. That doesn't seem too bad. Okay, but it doesn't look like there's a way for me to mess with it. Okay, so good to know. Anyway, so I just came in here, and I'm looking for an atmosphere regulator. This right here. I'm hoping that hitting F here will depressurize the entire
Air
ship.
pressure level decreasing.
but I think it does not. Yeah, the front, this entire pod is still pressurized except for this room. That drives me crazy. Because now I have to
Air pressure level decreasing.
open it up. Yeah, I don't love that. I wish there was a different way to handle that. Okay, so it looks like there's a cabin over here that's still pressurized, so let's... I mean, so this...
Air pressure level decreasing.
This process of depressurizing, which flings a bunch of objects around,
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
it's not... Oh, so this little pod over here, it's got its own independent atmosphere. Well, I'm not going to worry about that right now. It's got its own airlock and everything. But yeah, so it's not as bad as explosive decompression. If you depressurize by opening a door, that's not too bad. Things move around and things sometimes bump into each other, but it's not as bad as explosive decompression where they make everything move much faster, hit much harder, and sometimes just straight up damage stuff. Oh, so Anathema showed up and is like, I need to get back to this since they updated it since the last time I played. Yeah, so I missed the ghost ship update. I wasn't here for that, and so I still haven't played in my first ghost ship. I should probably, at some point, I'd love to do a video of me exploring a ghost ship for the first time. But right here, I'm just trying out the Javelin, which is their new ship class. And I'm figuring out how the geometry of these ships work. And it feels like, yes, they've done a really kind of a cool, clever thing, which is there's a part of the ship on the outside that you can't take apart until you've taken apart something else on the inside, which is the exact kind of thing, exact kind of puzzle that I want from this game. Okay, so now I can switch over to my, what am I doing? This, my tethers. I can send this guy to the processor. How heavy are you? Not very. Yes. Send that guy to the processor, and then also bring this guy out.
Valuable object processed. Credit awarded.
Send him to the processor. I don't know why I've decided these things are sentient and male, but whatever. And now this cage is free. I can drag this cage down very slowly. Okay, this is heavy. Maybe I need to tether the cage to the jack. Oh, nope, tether broke. The tether broke because I wasn't on the right side of it. So let's tether that. Just to pull it off. Pull it off the end of that thing. And then... Oh, it used to be that the V key would detach my tethers. Is there a new way to detach my tethers? Let's see here. Key mapping, grapple, place tethers, cancel Y cancels tethers. Maybe it was always the Y button. I just forgot. Okay, so cancel the tethers, and then actually gonna send this to the processor. Right? That's what it wants? Yes, so it'll read out the bottom says processor. Okay, cool. All right, so that is the complicated part of this. So now we've got other stuff. What do we want to... We've got 6 more minutes in this shift. So we could figure out how to break the ship in half, or we could figure out this little escape pod here. I'm thinking break the ship in half because I think that's going to be a demo charge thing because... Yeah, my cutter does not like any of these cut points. Oh, my cutter likes these cut points, though. Okay, let's definitely cut all of these first. Well, this is taking forever. I think that's because they actually want me to use the other version of the cutter, which is the line drawer. They want me to use this on these cut points. That's much faster. And it also feels better, right? Okay, so the reason I'm doing this first is because this is attached to coolant tanks. And I think those coolant tanks exist there mostly to explode if I do things in the wrong order. So... Oh wait, that's not attached to coolant tanks. Well, this one was. Hold on, let's see. What happens? Okay, so the coolant tank comes off, and it goes to the barge. I like these little cuffs that they're attached with. That's interesting. Okay, so it looks like... Oh, well, there's more... Wait! I accidentally hit the tether button. That was dumb. Don't do that. Okay, I just realized that the coolant tanks are not just on the left and right sides, they're also on the top and the bottom. So... we gotta do more cutting. That is, it's easy to forget that in space, all 3 dimensions are important.
Cutter, there's 5 minutes remaining in this shift. Get in while the getting's good.
I want to get rid of all these coolant tanks so I can set off some demo charges, which is what we're here for. Demo charges. So I think this might just let the cuff loose. I think that cuff is still a separate piece, even though it doesn't have a coolant tank. All right, and then we also haven't done this side yet. Yeah, I really love these ships. The ship designs actually are pretty reminiscent of The Expanse in that the ships are clearly built with physics in mind and sort of the way that thrust works and stuff. Like, you don't want to have a big sort of wide flat ship with big wide wings or something like that. The way you have, like in an airplane, you need that to fly. On a spaceship, you want to get the mass of your ship as much in front of your thrusters as you can. Like if the thruster is pushing directly on the ship from behind and the ship is a long column, that's way better than sort of having your thrusters, pushing on like one part of the ship, the other part is off to the side, which would sort of create balance issues and would also create a lot of stress on the structural integrity of the ship. So, a ship being shaped like this, like it's a big long column in front of the thruster, it feels very rational. And also just the fact that it's got, a lot of radial symmetry instead of bilateral symmetry is very appropriate to that sort of structure. So I like the way they're thinking about their ship designs. It feels really good, very sort of natural and believable. All right, so those guys on the bridges now, with 3 minutes left, definitely time to start exploding some things. So
salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Let's see. Okay, so it looks like, oh, I just realized this hexagon here is telling me where to place the charge. Ah, it's almost like these ships are designed with demolition in mind. It's a little weird that it's a hexagon when my demo charges are octagons, but whatever. It just sounds like 2 different companies just not talking to each other. We need industry standards. And let's not forget that, let's see here, are there other, yes, there are a couple points on the top and bottom too, just as I thought. Okay, so. Oh, my oxygen is critical, that's what that music is. Well, dang it, am I gonna have time to do this and breathe? I don't know. I mean, exploding the ship might be more important to me than breathing. I feel like I found an oxygen tank at some point while I was demoing something, but I forgot where it was. Okay, so let's go back and get some oxygen real quick and then blow this thing to hell right before the shift ends. Draco's White Wolf says, it's nice seeing a game developer having to learn how to play a game. This is actually one of the most important things for a game developer to do, is to play a lot of new games and, repeatedly have the experience of trying to figure out a tutorial. Because tutorials are one of the easiest things to mess up. It's very hard
1 minute left.
to get a tutorial really right. And so it takes a lot of practice. And a big part of that practice is watching what other people are doing right. So, okay, ready to blow these things up? What the? No! Why did I throw that? What was that about? I thought I was in detonator mode. That was weird. Okay, anyway. I don't know where that thing went. Let's find out. Oh, it blows them in the order I threw them.
Credits transferred.
Nice. Oh, look at that. The entire thing came apart in one move. Like, you can't quite see it, but like everything is swampus now. Which means that I could probably piece it apart later on because I'm running out of time in my shift. That was so satisfying to watch, though, wasn't it? All right. That went well. I don't know if I'm actually profiting. I haven't even been paying any attention to the money. I'm just paying attention to how fun this ship is to take apart. Okay, so that was another shift gone. I think, it's really in my interest to build up a fair number of these videos so that I can release them over Christmas without needing to stream instead of spending family time. So we'll wrap this one up, and my kids have not come downstairs to get me yet, and so maybe I can afford to do one more shift with this with this ship. We'll have to see.